Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, Living with Chucky. And this documentary takes us through the filmmaking process, the history and legacy of the Child's Play franchise, and everybody's favorite little possessed red-headed doll that just, wants to murder people because he's a serial killer. And this is from director Kyra Elise Gardner, and more or less, this is a pretty straightforward documentary. It's a linear story of how Chucky came about, the influences, making the first Child's Play, and then all the different films that came after it. So, in that sense, it's very by the numbers. You have sit-down interviews, you're talking to people, you're talking to filmmakers, you're talking to other people influenced by Chucky, and you get that. There's a lot of passion, though, in this film, and who made it, and by the commentators. You have the filmmakers, the creators. You have Brad Dourif talking about his process, and those are some of the most interesting things, is really hearing from him. And as a very talented and respected actor, you get to hear his perspective on how he brought this character to life. You get to hear from people like Lynn Shay, Marlon Wayans, Abigail Breslin, and John Waters, and so many others who have a connection to this franchise, respect it, and love it. You get that kind of passion as well, and that helps elevate this past just being a beat-by-beat, by-the-numbers, linear, chronological expression of how this franchise, how this character came about. They spend time early on in the film contextualizing the evolution of what horror movies were and how we went from monsters to these antagonists. Like, there would be no Chucky without a Freddy Krueger. Somebody who's evil and demented, but charismatic and funny, and we enjoy them on screen. It's one of those kinds of things where it's like this film helps us understand the bedrock that helped build the Child's Play franchise, and then we get a lot of insight into how it all came about. And as a fan of film, as a fan of horror, I really appreciated this film, and getting to hear from such an interesting range of performers and creators to help contextualize the legacy of this doll, this killer doll, this horror franchise. This is definitely worth a watch, especially if you are a big fan of Child's Play and, of course, Chucky. But those are my thoughts on Living with Chucky. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.